So mtazamaji na msikilizaji wa Legendary, here I am again. Here we are again. We're here now to. This is lunch hour. I'm very sorry that we're late with 30 minutes. So late. So by DJ Nan and karibuni sana kwa kukuja tena na kuingia sasa. I know you've been waiting for us. We've been trying to handle some technical issues, but here we are. But even before we continue, I want to salute you always staying tuned to these studios of ours. Secondly, nataka unisaidie kwa kitu hii moja. Please ensure that you share this link. Share na mabeshte, ita mabeshte. Let's all learn together. Remember we said Mondays are learning. Despite the Monday blues, we'll always be ending Monday blues now with learning. And our learning right now focuses on one thing: real estate. Investing in real estate, because that's where now the future is headed. And so now, naturally, I told you that I'll never handle anything to do with real estate being myself. And that's why in studio I will always have a guest who will always assist us in handling and tackling some of the questions that you've always been asking and you are asking right now. So hakikisha ya kwamba umeingia kwa comment section. Ukiita mtu mmoja, ukiita watu wawili, tafadhali jaribu kuweka swali lako pale, lile ambalo limeishi kukusumbua. Please have it there so at least you can go to answer that question. And you are very, very important, and your question is very, very, very important and very, very crucial for in the way forward to the investment. Now, in studio today we have none other than Harrison. Na nilisema kutoka Friday jioni, to be specific, Friday jioni, yeye haitwi Harrison, anaitwa Myers. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you. Uko salama?
Niko salama kabisa.
How have you been ever since?
I have well since the last time we did the show. It's 2 weeks ago.
Sure.
And we are here.
Yeah, sure, we are back.
Ready to handle this elephant.
No, actually, last Monday we couldn't have the show because we call it as family time, despite the fact that it was Easter. Yeah. That was family time, so we dedicated that time now to being with our family members and all that. And I hope familia iko sama.
Everyone is well. Maybe I can just start by saying hello to our viewers. Good afternoon. I think afternoon is for those who are local or around. There are some who are in the evening, good evening. Kuna wengine ni asubuhi, good morning. Welcome to the show. My name is Harrison Cairo, and we are ready to talk more about real estate. Today is the day to share with someone. Let's learn. We are here to learn. Nothing else but learning. Karibuni.
Oh, thank you so much. Please ensure that you comment on the comment section tuambie whether we are very clear and all that. Tuambie vile sauti iko, tuambie vile video iko, ili tusikujiongelesha vibaya sana tujiongelesha. So anyway, guys, now for today, even before I continue, let me say that this video is always sponsored by none other than Enjoy Properties. And Enjoy Properties ni wauzaji and managers and deal with the selling and management of real estate. They have plots that they sell. They also buy plots. You want to sell to us, they will buy. Apart from that, there is something that they do which is totally different from the rest of the organization that deals with real estate, and that is consultation. Even before you start your buying process, your buying process always begins now with the consultations. They offer free consultation whenever now you want to try, and that's why I made this effort to reach out to them so that at least they can always be there, we can be able now to get something from them. So, where are they located? They are located in Dikanema Plaza, that floor. Ukiingia tu pale, you get a very warm reception. Unapata watu ambao to address ama to hear you. From there, they'll give you the rest of the directions now from there. So they have a lot of projects. Let me come back now with those projects that they are currently running. And karibuni sana, naona mmeingia kwa wingi sana. Please ensure to assist us in sharing. Now, today, we're just going to handle this. A lot of people lose trust completely na real estates, and especially now investing in this real estates using through these real estate organizations. What went wrong? Where did this trust go to? That is now the question that we really want to answer. And most importantly, how can we regain back that trust in real estate? And with me, Harrison is going to assist us in that question. So, Mr. Harrison.
Yes.
As I have said, people lost a lot of trust in acquiring properties using the real estate organizations.
Yeah.
But even before we go to that, this happens now to be our today's topic. Lakini ningetaka sana tujue what really happened ili tufike mahali ambapo tumefika. And even before we go to that, what do you think we should all take whenever now we want to acquire a project a product in real estate?
Thank you for your question. This is what I would say. When someone wants to invest in real estate, because real estate as an industry we understand has really grown in the last decade, I would say. And it was still there. I think now with development in technology, development in growth in communication systems and styles, so majority of people today are aware. It's easier today to seek out information about a certain subject that you were, say, 10, 15 years ago. So one of the things that somebody really needs to do when you want to, maybe let me say, before even you have the money to invest, you have been thinking about an investment, or you got some cash somewhere. Usually, number one, get the knowledge about the industry, because real estate industry is wide and there is so many products available in the real estate industry. This knowledge can obtain it through consultancy, because there are real estate firms that consultancy, like Just Solas Enjoy Properties does consultancy. You can do your own personal research through existing research methods. Also, I would encourage someone to really just study the real estate market, how it's behaving, how are the trends, what is doing better than what. That kind of an analysis, and paying attention to something will make you learn, what is available, what are the real estate products that are available, whether you want to rent in land, whether you want to invest in houses, whether it's an investment platform, you are looking just at getting returns from your investment, finance options available, everything concerning real estate. It's very important first to get the knowledge, because what happens, because remember we are talking about trust issues today. When you don't know, it means you trust the person who tells you. If you have zero knowledge on something, the first person to tell you this thing goes like this, you tend to trust them, because you have no weighing scale. Say up to this extent I know, up to this extent I need more knowledge. So that is one thing that is very major. Obtain knowledge about the industry, learn it, consult where necessary. That will help a lot. Number two, it's very important as an investor. You see, now, having studied the market and learned and obtained the knowledge, you are at a better place to know, what do I want me as an investor? What do I want to do? What do I, or what kind of project do I want to invest in? And this will be, this question will affect a number of issues. Number one, it will affect the size or the magnitude of the project you can invest in. Number two, it will affect the location you also invest in, because real estate is one product that is not very mobile. It actually pushes you as an investor to become mobile. If you want to buy land, land is available in Thika, it's available in Nairobi, it's available in Nakuru, it's available in Mombasa. So it's you to move to the product. So it affects the location. The other thing is what projects, because real estate really presents itself in form of projects. What projects are available? What could be the best for me? And that also means you need to know what is the intended use you have for the purpose as well. Because if somebody who wants property to commercial use, somebody I know there are different types of commercial use. Somebody wants for residential purposes. Also, there are different types of residential purposes. If somebody wants maybe for industrial purposes, if somebody probably wants property for agricultural purposes, and many other uses that can be available. So those are factors that are very key. Obtaining knowledge of the industry, knowing yourself as an investor. What do I want? You know why it's important to know what you want? Because the minute you step out now and start now looking for a specific project to get into, what will happen is that you're going to get so much, you're going to get so many projects or so many products available that are very attractive, that look so good. But does it mean that you need all of them? No. When you know what you want, now you are able to know what exactly will suit your need. The final thing to consider is to familiarize with the process. We are talking about transaction process. That is where we call that is the elephant in the room, the transaction process. Because a majority of people know what they want, a majority of people have information, maybe not 100%, but have quite enough information about the project they want to invest in. But when it comes to the process, this is where now, maybe using layman's language, this is where now things start falling apart.
So it's now the jargon.
This is the place. Because I will say, the process is very important, because this is what will determine whether investment has worked or not. Because remember, investment, the word investment means it's something you're expecting returns. So it's not just a matter of investing and forgetting about it. No, not returns. So we need to safeguard the investment. So in this show, previously, we have talked about the process. And basically, people know the process by the way. Land, last time we were talking about documentation. So we have visited a piece of land, I have looked at it. So how do I buy the land? So in the process of getting a copy of the title, doing the search, doing a sale agreement, involving a legal officer, a lawyer, the processes of payment, the process of verifying who the seller is, and in some cases you verify even the buyer. By the way, people have never looked at it in that dimension. It's not only the buyer who is duped. Sometimes even the seller can be duped. This is heavy. So that is why verification actually is even both ways, and that process. And For the process, the challenge where personally I find is sometimes somebody can be in a hurry and they skip a certain important step. For example, somebody can just decide Mr. Finance. I've seen the land, I've seen the title, blah, blah. So anyway, I'm not paying all of it. Let me just put some deposit. I think we will proceed as we proceed. So don't rush. Make sure every step, every single step, you have adhered to it. So those are some of the main things I would say someone needs to really consider when you're buying the land, when you want to invest in real estate, when you want to buy that dream house, when you want to, build a shopping mall, and there's some very sweet offer on board. So yes.
Now, you've talked about what we really need now to consider before that is when we think of investing now in this sector. But there is this question that has arose, and I've talked about it. One umesema, it's not only a seller or else a buyer who can be duped. Even the buyer can be duped. Okay, or else you see even the buyer. It's not only the buyer but even the seller. Yeah? Who can be duped. Now, how do we verify now the buyer? This is now for the sake of wale ambao wanafanya kazi kwa real estates, because I'm very sure we have several of them who are currently watching. Maybe you can tackle that. And also, there is this other question that I would like you now to really assist us with them. I've gone for that site visit. What do I really expect now to see? Apart from now seeing that this is not a land, what else do I expect to see?
Let's start with the verification process. When we talk about verification, we are talking about identification. For example, you are Kevin, of course, DJ Nani.
Sure.
But what evidence can I be able to say the person I'm talking to is Kevin? You understand me?
Yeah, no, I get you.
I am now verifying you. I'm assuming let's, for example, for our viewers, assume you are the seller, I am the buyer. So I want to verify you. So I need to know who is Kevin, right? So I don't just buy into you telling me your name is Kevin. I need your identification documents.
True.
And for like our situation now in this country, the most recognized identification document is the ID card. So that ID card is one I'm able to know this is Kevin so and so, official name, ID number, and probably some other details there. Then when it comes to real estate, so you find we are a real estate institution. This is Enjoy Properties. So who is Enjoy Properties? Because there is always a face behind there. So now, for a company, is the registration certificate of that company. That is very important. Number two, there is a document called CR12, basically showing the directors of that company. Now,
CR12,
yes. Now that you're able to get the faces behind these Enjoy Properties. You're able to know whether is it Kevin and Harrison and who else is there, right? A company can be the shareholder could be one, could be many. There are situations where the shareholder can be an institution, right? So then now also you go into verifying that institution. That is very important, so that you don't just say is Enjoy Properties. So who is Enjoy Properties? Who are these people I'm dealing with? Because remember, real estate is very relational. You are dealing with people. The seller is a person, the buyer is a person. Beyond just the act of buying and selling, we need to know who exactly this person I'm dealing with. So the buyer, the same thing applies to the buyer. Me who is buying, who am I? What will you as a seller, what will make you know I sold to Harrison? There are so many people called Harrison in this country.
True.
So what will make you know? And because of our African culture, you find names becoming very familiar, very similar.
Very
that
similar,
is.
actually.
For example, me, I'm Harrison Cairo. I can tell you for sure, I know probably more than 5-6 Harrison Kairos.
Harrison Kairos.
Right? Leave alone those who are my cousins, because kuna my cousins majina zinafanana, so you understand what I mean. But there are many others. We had a case some time back of a person, 3 names zinafanana. Harrison Cairo, and then you find somebody else with the same relatives. They don't know each other. They are not related anyhow, but majina zimefanana. So that is when identification documents are very important, because we cannot ignore the fact that there are people who are not genuine. There are people who do not have good intentions, who can twist you or corner you to making some agreements that can make a party, get lost. So basically, that's what I'm talking about, identification. So you don't just go into saying niliuziwa shamba na Kevin, and the only thing I always say that, by the way, you don't know a person if the only thing you have is their contact phone number. You don't know that person.
You don't know that person.
If that phone get lost, it means that person you cannot trace where they live. You cannot. There's no other information you can give about that person. Even if somebody was willing to assist you to get that person, you don't have enough information to get the assistance you need. So that is very important. The second question you asked is about when you go for a site visit. What, apart from seeing the land, what else? Because our discussion is around trust, so I will handle the issue that comes to the trust, especially to do with site visits. Because I will take you for a site visit. I'll tell you this is Makuyu, so you as a buyer, what do I need to show you to prove to you that this is Makuyu, or whatever property I'm showing you is a right property? There exist documents that show a specific location of a property. Because from my end, where I begin from, I show you a copy of a title deed. That is one. Number two, I'll show you normally called a sketch map, or the mutation that was to produce this title deed. The mutation contains the sketch map of the location of this piece of land. But because land is huge, so this sketch map may not be very specific, though it does contain information that can lead us to another document. So the information on the title, which is also in the mutation, will lead us to another document called an area map of that specific area. Now, these are not documents produced by us, these are documents produced by the Ministry of Land. That is the beauty of it. So it's a document you can go and verify. It's a document actually you can go and obtain yourself. I don't actually have to obtain it for you. You can go and obtain it yourself. Both the mutation and the area map. Those are documents you can go and obtain from the Ministry of Land. And you can get a surveyor to assist you. Let me give an example. You have chosen a specific plot, say plot number 16, located in Makuyu, Fort Hall Gardens. So the title number is a certain number there, for example,
maybe 200.
200. So this plot number 200, this title number 200, you can be able to trace it, both in the mutation and in the area map. And the surveyor can actually, an independent surveyor, you can take an independent surveyor to take that person to that site and ask them whether what is on the title and what on the ground, whether it's the same thing. Because the issue of trust where it has fallen at that point is me showing those conmen anakuonyesha hii ploti but the document anakopea ni ya plot iko like 100 meters away or 200 meters away or even in another region, you know, but within Makuyu, because maybe your plot title imeandikwa Makuyu, so just another region in Makuyu. So what you think is yours is not exactly the same, and you could go through the process and the process goes successfully, only not knowing the identification of the particular property on the ground was not right. Yes.
So now you want to tell me that when I go to getting or else when I'm going for a site visit,
Yes.
I need now to specifically see the documents and these identification items that relates to that very specific
Yes.
plot
Piece of
yenye
land.
nimeona.
Yes.
So kama ni number 16, I need those particular and specific documents relating now to that 16.
Yes.
That is very very crucial. Yeah, kwa sababu unaonanga unafikanga unaambiwa sasa now this is the land, imetoka hapa, imefika pale na hapa. Then you're told now we are done, let's go back now to office.
Yeah, of course, in the first site visit where you first just want to see the land and see whether that land suits what you want to do. That is basic. You are just seeing. It's like window shopping. Is this thing one I want? I think yes. Once you get satisfied for what you want, so of course now, if probably is a project has many plots, you choose a specific plot, and now you start to concentrate on that specific plot. All the papers relating to that document, you make sure you have them.
Okay. So now, that was now on the site visit and what we really need now to tackle on. Now there is now the jargon itself. Where did this trust go when it comes to people buying lands and what really happened ili tufike sasa mahali ambapo tumefika?
In a very simple way, I will look at the history of real estate in this country. And as I've told you, in the last decade, let me say about 10-15 years ago, that is where real estate has made tremendous growth. In fact, I remember before COVID, around the year 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019 there, real estate industry in Kenya grew at a very high rate. It was among the top industries in the country. And one of the biggest things that spoiled or rather brought these issues that we are talking about is the existing market leaders at that time that were making the industry to grow at a very high rate. A majority of them collapsed, and many real estate projects failed. That was like the beginning of now the ups and downs in the real estate industry. Remember, I'm focusing on industry as a whole, not an individual player or institution in the industry. And so when details of course now that would open up another door of people discussing real estate, looking at what went wrong, what went right, who did right, who did wrong, blame games. People started blaming the government, people started blaming individuals, and so many things around there. But the failure of those market leaders, really, any industry actually, if a market leader in that industry fails, it affects every other player in that industry. And so the other smaller industries that were coming up, smaller companies that were coming up, smaller investments that were coming up, now already found themselves in a notion where they are using a lot of effort to keep moving and to keep moving. And there has been also issues of, as I've told you, real estate is very relational. You are dealing with a person. Yes, I'm selling you land, but you are dealing with me. And I'm more important here than even the land I am selling to you. because if I don't ensure that the process goes well, the land will remain there. You will depart from me and probably go and look for somebody else. And so there have been a lot of unprofessionalism and a lot of integrity issues, a lot of personal attributes and characteristics that have really put a lot of people in a mess. Because you understand that the nature of investment in real estate, when someone has saved for a long time, or somebody actually offset another property to invest again in real estate. And so now the effects even to the investors becomes very painful and hurting if somebody loses an investment. And this falling of market leaders really affect. And you know, the nature of projects also is another issue. Like I remember one that was really hit. There's a product in real estate called buying houses that are done off plan. That is another one that was really a major hit because a majority of the institutions, people would invest, but the project does not get to its completion. So here's a person who is left somewhere stranded. You have invested in a house because you wanted to. You are sacrificing yourself to get some good residence for yourself and probably for your family. And then all of a sudden, it has not worked. The investment money has not been brought back. So you just left somewhere stranded. You don't know. Can't move ahead, can't move backwards. And many other issues. Another thing probably I would say, and I'm very grateful actually, that I know the government currently is working on it, is protection from the government. For example, you find like banks have depositors have some form of protection so that whatever money you put in the bank does not feel like it has full authority on what to do with that kind of thing. There is a regulation of the industry. Real estate have lacked regulation for quite some time, and I'm glad actually currently as we speak, that kind of framework is being worked on, where there is somebody regulating what real estate firms are doing, like the central bank regulates the operations of the bank, because that way the investors now feel some form of security, some form of assurance. They feel there's somebody who is in mind caring for them. So those has been the issues. Of course, there have been other issues of documentation like title deed and the likes, and the government actually have put a lot of effort in making sure a majority of areas have title deeds. That is why you keep now and then hearing title deeds have been issued in the coastal areas, in Kambani, in many regions. Nowadays, the regions that have been left uncovered are few, and actually majority of them, the work is in process.
Okay, so now there are a few. Let me first of all identify a few of individuals who are currently watching, and I'll tell you for sure leo watu wengi sana wanatuangalia, and one of them being the Media Council of Kenya. Media Council of Kenya, I've seen them somewhere. They are currently watching. So
they need to learn as well.
Media Council, shukran sana for always giving us this platform now to continue airing this. This is not commercial. But Media Council tuko sawa. Then naona watu enjoy properties wako in. Naona kuna mtu anaitwa kiongozi Fred Ng'ang'a. He's a honorable in amekuwa mheshimiwa. Lakini
kwa bado ni mheshimiwa.
Yeye ni mheshimiwa, ni vile kura zake hazikutosha. Kuna moja ilienda missing. So Fred kiongozi, by the way, he deals with Amica Sacco. He is in Amica. So ukitaka pesa ongea na Fred kiongozi. alikuwa anasimama kwao ni na huku kwaitwaje hapa Murang'a, sides is it Gatanga, I think in Gatanga constituency, sikumbuki the specific word, I will tell you. Anasema sasa tunatumia kizungu mingi sana. Anasema Muguta ni title. Yeah, that definitely that's true. But before now ufike kwa kushika hiyo title, that's one of the jargon happens in kiongozi. Thank you so much. Naona mtu anaitwa Job Motisa anasema keep up the good work, thank you. Jos Kiredi anasema job well done, thank you. DJ Dropflex anasema niko kitia mbele na Abigail daga Kenya kando yako, tuna take notes, continue taking those notes. Then naona mtu anaitwa Masi Chepkemoi anasema nice work there guys, thank you. Then there is this friend of mine anaitwa MC Mdomo Mingi. He is a presenter and also we are in the same field. Anasema wanaweza nunua shamba iko Murang'a Mugoiri Gatheru 2 acres na hiyo maybe ya kulima sio ya plots. We are going now to get back to you on that. MC Mdomo Mingi, tafadhali get my inbox tuone vile utasaidika, si ndio? Yes, so kuna swali moja nilikuwa nataka kuuliza lakini naona kama sijui kama tumeiguza kabla sasa tuingie kwa now the project that you people are having. You've talked of the pioneers of this real estate area, wale ambao sasa walikuwa hapo, wale ambao wamestimulate na wameweza kufanya real estate go along ama iweze kuendelea sana collapsing. What really made them collapse? What happened? Because generally not mentioning any specific organization or such, but what really in general, what really made them to collapse? Because I tend to believe one of the reasons as to why they collapsed was something to do with this trust. But what really made it to go down? What made them now to go down?
That's a very big question. And because I was not there with them, but of course we have studied the market, and there are many reasons. Generally speaking, for a business fail. And one thing with real estate, it's a very promising field. Very, it's one area where even an investor has some very high assurance they're not going to make a loss.
True.
Land is appreciated.
It will never depreciate.
That's language you keep saying every day. It is not sugarcoating, it is the fact.
That is the fact.
And as I'm telling you, the way the real estate industry has grown in the last decade, you find many people who are able to invest those years back. Nowadays, some of them just hear the value of what they have and they just want to touch it. They want iongezeke,
yeah.
You know, because the return already at this point is more than 200%.
You're saying someone was telling me, sorry to cut you short, lakini I have to tell you this. Na mtu aliniambia back in 2010 akinunua hapa Goigwa, mahali ambapo wamejenga alikuwa ananunua I think is it 30,000 ama 300, something similar to that. No, not 300, I think 50,000 Goigwa. And currently aliniambia that very same plot hiyo yake sahi, hata kama haijajengwa, okay sahi by default amejenga juu huko ndiko anaishi, lakini alikuwa ananiambia hata kama haijajengwa it's not less than 5 million. So whatever now you're saying about that appreciation, Totally true.
And even if you consider things like inflation, you consider things like interest growth, still that appreciation, had it been a different product, could not have gone that much.
True.
So what this means then is that the desire to invest in real estate among able investors is very high. Very high. Everybody is striving to, whether they are going to look for a financing institutions or whether they are going to, pull resources together as groups, as chamas, as friends, or even as family. Their families are pull resources together and invest in property. Whichever way and strategy people use, there is a lot of attraction to the industry. And so a majority of the market leaders then, as I have told you, lacked the capacity and the knowledge and the professionalism needed to handle the demand. Because now it's a situation where the demand is very high, but the supply is low. Because somebody who has been in this field will understand, getting investors may not know this, but us getting a suitable property to sell is not just an issue of waking up and going to view the land and etc. We also go through the same process. We will view many land, verify, you check the history of the land, you want to know even whether they are who owned this land before the current owner. You want to know so much about this, because as Honorable Mheshimiwa anasema, land ni title. Very true. But do you know you can have a title na hiyo shamba bado inakusumbua? That's why when I was talking about things you need to consider, that's where due diligence comes in. Hii shamba ni ya Kevin, sikatai ni ya Kevin, title inasoma Kevin.
Lakini Kevin,
who owned before Kevin? Who was before Kevin? Who was before the person who was sold to you? What is the origin and history of this land? Was it a scheme? Was it a, generally there's a history of a certain piece of land in a certain area. And that's why you'll find there are areas where real estate have not really grown because of the history of the land in that area. For example, any place where land has been communally owned, real estate iko chini sana. Because before a community decides to sell land, it's a process. It's a process because you're consulting many people. It's not one person, it's not even 10 people. You're consulting a community. So the representatives of the community, before they sit down and agree to sell a piece of land, so that now that land can get into the industry now to be able to trade, becomes quite an issue. But that was a major issue. The demand was very high, but the supply was too low. So what happens in that time is capacity says do what you are able to do, right? And now professionalism will come into the management, the packaging, the selling, the whole branding issue, the how you present the product, and all those things, because it's a process. Especially when projects are huge, there are so many other technicalities, because there are also need for approvals from relevant authorities. So sometimes these organizations would engage in a project when the approvals probably are in the process, they have not been complete, and then the approval has been rejected when the process is almost like 50 or even 60%, and now reversing becomes a very big issue. And some of them also got financial issues and many other things. Some of them are really personal issues. Probably there was quarrels between the management and such kind of things. There are many reasons. There are many reasons that could have made it. But from where I sit and from my own understanding and just studying the industry, that was a clash that was there, especially during that time when the industry was really at the top. Of course, now there came the season of COVID, which was and down. I'm saying that because a lot of farms went down, of course, because of the market. Many people have lost their jobs. Many people have, maybe somebody was in a mortgage and they have lost their job. So now, are they going to stop the mortgage? What is going to happen? Landing a job was quite a challenge. But then there are other people who use that opportunity to do something probably they never got the opportunity to do, because somebody has been working in a place where they have been so busy. Maybe you've been doing just savings and you've never really put that into investment. And especially the construction part of real estate really went up during the COVID time. A lot of people built houses, a lot of people made investments, and those were some of the lessons on by day that came from the era of COVID. And as we speak, the industry is really now getting back to its feet. People are gaining trust. People have more knowledge now. People have been educated, and that is why we are here.
Okay. Yes. So now, there is something that you are trying to touch on, but I don't know how you're going to. I don't know whether I'll be taking you back there, but you've just highlighted. You've talked of the government involvement in the real estate, but you didn't dwell so much on it. So, what is the government now doing to curb some of these, collapsing in the real estate, and also trying now to minimize the mistrust in the real estate?
The thing with the government, the key word here is regulation, because any industry, the setup of our business environment is that every industry is regulated to some extent. And in real estate, the regulation have happened so much around the institutions rather than the industry itself. So you find that regulation assists to protect the investors. You see, that is the beauty of it. That if I buy land with an institution, and that institution encounters challenges, probably because of internal wrangles or personal issues that has nothing to do with the investor, the investor is protected because it's money that was put in there, and that money needs to be protected. I understand there is a kind of a law being made on the modalities of how to regulate the industries. Of course, there are issues of public participation and such kind of things, so they have not really agreed on the modalities, but such a plan is there. Yes, it's basically about regulating the industry so that the investor is protected. That is the goal, to protect the investor. Let's look at certain cases. Let me give an example why regulation is important. If an institution is working and you've sold land to investors, because you see, land, the issue with the land is that it's a process. Property is a process. You cannot buy land. Our systems have not allowed, in some developed countries, you can buy land today and get your title today. But our systems are not there yet. There is a process. Today we go and view land. I give you the documents, do due diligence. Maybe it'll take a few days. Then from there we come and do. Before you get your title, it's a process. It takes some time. We'll book the land board, go. Then after we have gone for the board, wait for the consent. There is a process. Because between this time the process is taking place, anything can happen. Let me look at a worst case scenario where a person has died. So it's not that ran away with the investment, it is fair, but I am not there. When there are regulations, there are clear processes or guidelines as to how these investors can still complete their processes without any challenges, because I do not exist, right? Because like now, going back to the question you have asked, what made them go? I remember one case I was reading on the newspaper where a company had bought a land and then sold to the investors. And then, I'm telling you the process. So the seller becomes deceased. The seller to the company, right? So when now, normal law is that it's inheritance. So the sons of these men said, this land was our father's. Yes, he sold, but we allowed him to sell because the land was his. But we think it was not a good idea.
What?
Yes. So we don't want you to pay the balances and everything. No, we want our land back. And it became a court battle. Went on for several years. Finally, the sons won. The land, they reclaimed their land. So that institution, now you can imagine, you put yourself in the shoes of the investors of that company. What do they do? So such issues, when there is regulation, there is clear guidelines to guide on what to do in case of eventualities like that.
Okay. Yes. So no, what maybe your suggestions now to the government in reference now to the real estates? If you're now told now to advise the government on how now to streamline and the real estate sector, what could be your suggestions?
Wow. The suggestions can be many.
Just give us three.
The suggestions can be many. One is the change around of the systems of real estate. Because you see, the titling work is completely with government institutions. Titling is completely under the government. So when the government is low, we are affected. And that affects the end consumer, which is the investor. So if the government can come up with policies that would make the process a bit quicker, that can be a very big plus for us. Because sometimes you find somebody has come from abroad, they're here for just 2 weeks. And that 2 weeks, they want to buy land and go home with their documents, go back with their documents. Our processes
Does not allow that.
do not allow such a quick transaction. And this results to people using shortcuts and backdoors that become very messy at the end of the day. So if the government can do something that the process can be done faster, even a search should not just take 1 week. Can we have a search in a day? It is not even a day, hours. There, of course, I understand there have been efforts by the government to digitize the processes, but there's still reluctance in willingness of adopting the digital platforms. So you find, yes, they exist, but they are not giving the results, and the expectations on them is not happening. So people still end up using the normal analog processing that we have been used to. So that would be recommendation number one. The overhaul of the systems, the turnaround time of getting certain kinds of work done. If that can be shortened, it can be really a big plus to the industry. Number two, it's now what we've been talking about, the regulations of protecting the investors. Because you remember now here there are classes of investors. We've talked about the investors who are our clients, and we are also investors, So we also need that law will apply across the industry. Everybody will feel protected, so that it becomes easy to do business. It becomes easy to do business, and people are more now open to investing in real estate than it was before. But we hope that the process of coming up with the regulations will be fast-tracked, and it will really assist. But of course, there have been some that have been done, and we are really grateful for it. The other thing, the final one, is matters to do with infrastructure development, because a real estate person is a road person. You're on the road. So there are places you go and accessibility is very poor, facilities are very poor, and if of course much would have been done about that, it would really be a plus. Final one, titling process. Kuna places watu wanataka shamba na hakuna title. You understand? So what happens is, if a place demand is high and there is no right documents, kuna watu wanaitangwa risk takers. They just go and buy, they just trust what is available. Are they certificates? Are they allotment letters? Are they sale agreements? They just buy that. If challenges come from those things, the problem is they don't affect them alone. They affect the whole industry. So if the government would fast track the process of ensuring every land in the country is titled, it would really help the industry. Yes.
Wow, thank you so much, and I hope we must have spoke now to people maybe who are in the government and who assist who are in that line of making the laws that govern us as as a country, especially now akina friend kiongozi. So friend Ng'ang'a, tafadhali ongea na watu wawili watatu hivyo tuone kama hizo mambo zenye Mr. Harrison ametaja zinaweza kuwa featured into law. So now what are now the projects that you have currently?
We have many projects. We want to concentrate on one today. Fort Hall Gardens.
Fort Hall Gardens.
Yes. Fort Hall Gardens is located along Nairobi, Nyeri on Embu Highway, or the newly done Duokarich, Keno, Marua, Sagana, Keno, Sagana, Marua Highway. And actually recently traveled last week. Traveled around that road. A lot of work has been done.
Very sure.
The construction process has been stopped by the way because of some issues here and there. But I just learned the other day the process has resumed.
Okay.
So the project is going to get completed. Why am I talking about that? Because it makes this project very suitable in terms of accessibility. It's an hour's drive from Makuyu to Nairobi. It's the project is 300 meters from the highway at Kambiti, behind Kambiti High School. A lot of social amenities are available. One that I like a lot, there are a lot of 3-star, 4-star hotels around. So it's a nice place for recreation. And now when it's a home and you have recreation facilities around, it becomes a very nice place to call home. Yes, there are 50 by 100 plots. We are giving them at 500,000 shillings, do a deposit of 40%, pay the balance in 6 months.
Wow.
The title deed is ready, like, last time we talked about these things, mother title, what, yes, individual title, no, ready title. In this regard, if you buy today and complete payment, the only thing we do is to book land board, to get the consent for your transfer, and then transfer the title deed for you. And if you decided to do it for yourself, you just give the title deed itself, you go with it.
So meaning that
The
it's
price
individual,
is inclusive of the title deed. So
wow.
you just pay 500,000 shillings, not a single extra coin.
Wow.
Yes. So site visits every Wednesday and every Saturday. So get into contact with us. We have a number of plots that are remaining. So rush, get yours today.
Wow. Thank you so much. Fort Hall Gardens in the Narwa Road. You said 300 meters away from
Tarmac.
the tarmac.
And it's exactly 300 meters.
Yeah, kwa sababu umesema hivyo nikakumbuka kuna wakati tumeambiwa nao tumeenda kuangalia shamba mahali, tukaambiwa hiyo shamba iko 100 meters, lakini ukijaribu kuangalia kwenye unaenda it's more than it's totally different from what they're saying. But anyway, it was their own way of marketing, and but for this one I can I'm certain, I'm assured hiyo na hii nayo ni legit, ni real, it's exact 300 meters because I've been there. So take this chance, go book your plots, enda uone plot, usibook kabla uone, enda uone, complete the process. Then Harrison, I'm very sure Harrison will be very much available to take you to where the plots are. Uende ujichagulie plot yako, na kabla afanye hivyo mkumbushe nilisema lazima kwanza mtu apewe consultation, si ndio? Yes. Anything else now from you, Mr. Harrison?
No, nothing much. Just thank your viewers for watching and learning with us. We will continue learning.
Yeah, sure, definitely. This is not something that we are stopping right now. We'll be here coming Monday, the other Monday, until we exhaust everything to do with real estate investment, until you get satisfied in investing in real estates. We don't want a place where now you're so much afraid of investing in real estate. We want a place where you're so much free, you're so much comfortable in investing in real estate, because you know what pertains and what surrounds now the real estate, and what you specifically need now to look at when investing in real estates. Waambie kwaheri.
Thank you our viewers for watching. Kwaheri.
Na hujawaambia wanaweza kupata wapi na kiaje?
My contacts are available. I'm sure they'll be posted down there. You can always get in touch with me. My number is 0721 558399. Again, 0721
iseme polepole 0721
55 83
99. Yes.
That number is available on WhatsApp, on text, on call. Feel free to talk to me, and I will take you through the whole process and sure you go home smiling. And I think DJ, one of these fine days, we will bring success stories of people who have come through our hands, and they have gone from the process ya kupiga simu, akakuja akapelekwa site visit, mpaka akaenda nyumbani na title deed.
Yes, very soon. I'm currently working on that, and I know nitai manage. Ni vile bado najaribu kuangalia nihakikisha nimepata wale ambao ni sio mtu wa kukuja ati akae kama ni mtu alipewa script. Unajua watu wengi sana wasema hii ni script bwana, hii hapana. Yes, but I'm currently working on that. So in conjunction with
those are issues of trusting. Those are the things we were trying to dissect. I don't think by there we have covered everything. I think the viewer at this point has learned something.
True, very true. And I'm always appreciative of your effort, Mr. Harrison. Actually, you really assist me in answering some of the questions zenye nimekuwa nikiulizwa. Ni vile tu siwezi nikaziuliza direct, isionekane kama ni mimi, but these are now the questions that have been revolving around all these investments in real estate. I've just sent one of my friends a link, and I'll just read for you the actual response. He's in Iraq right now. Where is this? Yes, He is in Iraq currently. Yeye ni military huko. So after kumtumia ameniambia sitaki. I was conned twice. Na akamalizia hapo. So now I just have now to follow up on him, nione what really happened. Because you know, some of these comments,
those painful experiences have really affected this industry.
True, very true. Very, very true. Yeah.
So trust is not easy to get, especially in our setup, the African setup. I don't know whether it is right to say that way. But it can be found if you're willing to engage in the process, in the right process, the right information and the right people, you will get the right product. Yes.
Wow, thank you so much kwa kukubali mwito wetu na wangu ili tuweze kuelimisha hao watu wa mafans wa DJ Nan. Really much appreciative and asante sana. Salimiana huko Enjoy Properties na uambie Mr. Joel we really miss him. It has been a while since
maybe we'll organize he comes back. But I know he is watching us where he is.
Yeah, he told me that naenda vacation kidogo.
Sasa imekuwa mingi.
Alikuwa ananiambia naenda vacation. Yes, so say hi to everyone who is at Enjoy Properties, akina Abi, akina Jacinda, and the entire Enjoy Properties fraternity. I being there. So asanteni sana and may God bless you. Till we meet again the next session. Remember we've been sponsored now by Enjoy Properties. Audio mnatuwezesha sasa kuweza kupata all these contents through now their you know those specific individuals with great minds and with great knowledge about the real estates, because hata hiyo wakati wenye umesikia mambo ilikuwa inaenda segemnege, wao bado walikuwa kwa the real estate, and that's why you've heard Mr. Harrison saying he could be able now to even identify some of those challenges that you know the pioneers went through. Otherwise, mimi sina mengi. Remember, Enjoy Properties are located at Thika Neema Plaza, which is opposite or next to Thika Bazaar, ile inajulikana kama Pizza Inn building, although it's just a building yenye kuna Pizza Inn. Yeah. So ukikuja hapo Neema Plaza, that floor, you're going now to get the Enjoy Properties, and they're going now to give you everything, every details of all that you need. Otherwise, till we meet again, remember, even before I go, on Wednesday, no, on Thursday, is it on Thursday or Wednesday? One of those fine days, we'll be having now Councillor Anne, who will be now assisting us in handling some, you know, personal related issues. Mahali mmekosana sijui na nini, naye akuje atuelimishe on that note. We must be savaged. You know, we must learn. Otherwise, may God bless you till we meet again. Salute.